What's going on, guys? This is Miasin and welcome to the OCG Metagame Breakdown number 8. Always some interesting things with them. Unlike us, because we're kind of boring, man. The TCG just sucks. But yeah, 141 top-performing decks from 90 tournaments. And again, Japan, mainland China, Malaysia. We don't see that every day. Does it even exist? Yeah, it does. South Korea and Vietnam during, oh wow, only 2 days. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting as always. And again, huge shoutouts to Akira. But before we dive in, friendly reminder to smash the like and subscribe button. And now let's get right into it. Alright, so Tier Lament still the best deck, no shit. Nothing changed since the last, I don't know, like billions of weeks. It's always the same thing, man. Every single week, we always get like a new breakdown, 28.4%. I think it's the exact same. Yeah, it literally the exact same number. Always stabilizing at the best deck, and then the second best deck is usually Purely. But this week it's Adam Emancipator, but not by a long shot, so it really doesn't matter too much. Adam Emancipator being really good with the Super Heavy Samurai package, and it's a big 60 card deck also with the Shizu monsters and some other really nasty cards. Block Dragon is the 3 over there, so that changes absolutely everything. But yeah, Purely, I finally understand how the deck functions now because I played against it in Euro Pro, and the deck is nasty. It can draw a bunch of cards on the standby phase, and the Purely Noir can get to like 5k plus attack, 7k defense. It's unaffected by activated effects while it has 5 or more materials, but it's pretty much always gonna have 7, so good luck outing it. You can kaiju it, but then it doesn't matter too much because they're gonna have a bunch of cards in the hand. They might have Vanity's Fiend as well, so maybe kaijus might not be the way to go. Raw Sphere mode doesn't really make sense because they're really ending on 1 to 2 monsters max. It's kind of like a control slash mid-range deck. And you need Xyz Encore because if you can use it on the draw phase, they're not going to be drawing anything with the materials that make you draw 1 on the standby phase. So that's the reason why Xyz Encore is so good against Pirelli. But again, they will be getting back the materials from the grave, which would be like the level 1 monsters that they used for the Xyz summon. And that can kind of hurt. And I don't know if they become level 0, I don't think so, but yeah, because Xyz Encore makes them lose a level. Anyways, after that we have Splight Brigade, pretty good deck, respectable, why not? Bestial, alright, the combo deck that we always see, makes sense. Super Heavy Samurai, very, very good deck. I've been saying it would be tier 1 ever since we got the Prodigy Wakoshi release. Reveal, and I guess I was right, absolutely. I also said back in the days that Exorcister would be a very good deck if people didn't really know what, or rather how it worked, because, you know, they can kind of punish you for you just using your graveyard normally, so you have to play completely different against Exorcister when you're, in contrast to like the other matchups. They're a little bit more linear, straightforward, but Exorcister is really complicated. It really wins only if you can, if you play into the cards. If you don't, then Exorcister doesn't do that much, unless they go first and they set up like Magnifica and the trap, then you lose, pretty much regardless of what your strategy is, but whatever. Anyways, Ishizu Labyrinth, very interesting, but it's a very small package of Ishizu cards, and the Ishizu monsters are really just the discards for the furniture monsters, so Chandra, Stovey, but not Kuklog, that one doesn't discard. Anyways, Runic, very interesting deck, and by interesting I mean boring as hell. Branded, Kashtira, Scareclaw, interesting. Bestial, Dragon Link, Flundery, Sword Soul, okay, Valiance, Code Talker, Mathmech, Ligmatica, Magistus, Tearlament, Shadal, what the hell? Evil Eye, Metabeat, what is this? Is it like Fossil Dyna Bear statue? Anyway, Salamangrate, Scareclaw, Spiral, what? Bruh, what is this? Spellbook, Draco Slayer, Endymion, Zephyra, that's like a Steven thing. Splight Evil Twin, Splight Gishki, Splight Scareclaw, Manadome, Son of Alon Rika, and Super Heavy Samurai Zephyra. Absolutely nothing interesting here. Anyways, Tier Lament, so this is a very spicy tech that people are playing now. Herald of the Abyss. It is a card that I believe makes you pay like 1,000 or 2,000 life points, and then your opponent chooses... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna read it in front of you. Herald of the Abyss. It's a normal spell card, so pay 1,500. I said 1,000 or 2,000. It's actually in the middle. And declare 1 monster type and 1 attribute. And then your opponent must be the one to send it to the graveyard. So even if it's a monster that is unaffected by card effects, it still has to go away because it is, targeting the player and not the card. So it doesn't matter if cards are unaffected by card effects when they're going up against cards like Herald of the Abyss or Evenly Matched or Daruma Dharma Cannon, Weight Bridge, etc. All those cards, they affect the player. So that's, when you can understand wording in cards, you can start understanding how some cards can be better at others at dodging card immunity. But yeah, the main deck itself is absolutely not interesting, really. The side deck, I guess, has Change of Heart and then 2 tasking. this is, I think, what we're seeing right now in the TCG for pretty much everyone. Everybody's going to be main decking talents and side decking tasking, because this card's really insane going second, but going first maybe a little less, unless you have like some floodgates that are normal trap cards that you can set going first. So like Flunderies can abuse the living shit out of tasking because they can get a Harpy's Feather Storm. That's really scary. So if they get hit by an Ash or a Veiler, it's not the end of the world because they can still Feather Storm you and then buy themselves a lot of time. But in a deck like Tearlaments, it's not that great unless you're going second, obviously, in which case tasking can even fetch the talents. So it's really cool. But unless you're getting hit by like Bestial monsters, you're rarely ever getting normal spell cards. So that's the issue, right? Because if you could get like quick play spell cards, it would be completely different, but you can't. And you can kind of get some field spells because Terraforming searches them. So it's really interesting how the Bestial monsters and, you know, Gamma and these kind of monsters that summon themselves from the hand, and even Nibiru, they kind of dictate whether or not a card like Triple Tactic Tasking can be good in the format or not. And because of the fact that Kashtira right now is the deck to beat, people are not really playing Bestial monsters, and except in Despia, because they need Saronir if they want like their combo to work out, because Saronir is actually like a key Despia monster almost. It has synergy with the branded archetype, and you know, that's pretty much the only deck that can summon a monster turn 0 almost, well, Tearlaments, but that doesn't really count too much. But yeah, the format definitely changed, we can all agree on that. But anyways, this deck, I'm just not gonna waste any more of your time on it. Now, we've got Adamancipator with a new tag that people are now abusing, and this is a tag that my friend Clemente suggested to me when I made my combo on the Super Heavy Samurai, no, sorry, Spriggans actually, but Super Heavy Samurai can also abuse it, and that card is Clifford Genius. It's a Link 2 monster that allows you to search a level 5 or higher machine monster from your deck to your hand whenever you summon 2 monsters or more simultaneously to the zone it points to, if I recall correctly, and you're going to be able to search Theron King Regulus, which gets you an Omni Negate, or if you want to, you can search Spell Canceller, and it's really good against a bunch of decks this format. Against Purelli, it's insane. It even negates Dark Ruler because they can't even use Dark Ruler. So it's one of the only outs to Dark Ruler, really. And look at how many quickly spell cards they play. A bunch. And, you know, a card like Anti-Spell would not be that good. They can just chain everything, so they can still play the game. But a card like Spell Canceller, which prevents them from hitting the field in the first place, is absolutely nasty, and they really don't have much to play around Spell Canceller right now. Even their side deck, for the most part, only has spell cards and some monster hand shabs that really just wouldn't be enough at stopping the Clifford Genius. So this is, I want to say, a genius tech that allows them to completely catch people off guard this format. But yeah, again, whether you want to play Spell Canceller or Theron King Regulus, it's really up to you, but Regulus is interesting in, I think, this deck. You might be getting some little bit of synergy with the Super Heavy Samurai Soul Piercer, if you can equip it back and then destroy it and then get another search. I don't know if it really works that way, or you can maybe get... I don't know, I mean, you can only really get machines, right? But yeah, the Regulus is being main decked, and then the Spell Canceller is being side decked. I think this is a little more applicable going first and second, where Spell Canceller is only good going first. And this guy is really well prepared to beat just about everyone. I mean, he has a bunch of hand traps in the main deck so that he can kind of counter Tearlaments. He can turbo out Dweller so that if he goes first, he pretty much always wins. And then going second against Purely, he has Xyz Encore. Going first, he has Spell Canceller. He has Evenly Matched in case, you know, his opponents make negates that you can only really deal with Evenly Matched, because if you rely, again, only on spell cards, people can definitely destroy you for that. So that is definitely a huge mistake that you should avoid doing. And I mean, yeah, Purely kind of falls into that, but they're also coming up with new techs that I just really like. This is very interesting. I'm a big fan of that personally. So right now, people are playing the Dark World monsters instead of Volcanic Shell in order to play around Droll Logbird, because as you can see, Droll Logbird is gaining in popularity, right? This card is a 2 in the Purely side deck, 3 in the Super Heavy, Adamancipator Super Heavy Samurai side deck, and 3 in the Tearlaments side deck. So you want to be able to search a lot of cards on the draw phase, and the beauty of the Purely quick plays is that, well, of course, they're quick plays. You can use them on the draw phase, so you can get a search with these monsters, you can get whatever search with, I don't think these spell cards search, yeah, not really. And if you discard a Brow and Snow, you can search, well, again, search with Snow, and then draw a card with Brow. So that's actually really nasty. It's crazy that discarding cards is really not that much of a deal. It really doesn't change anything to your life. You can keep discarding cards again and again and again. You pretty much always have gas. This deck doesn't play like Dagusto Emerald or anything, but yeah, imagine if you could just like recycle back your cards that generate advantage when they get discarded. And I think you might be able to recycle back the continuous spells and the monsters. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe there's like at least one card in the archetype that does that. But yeah, I finally understand, by the way, why every single quick play spell is a 3. It's because they kind of just all do the same thing at the end of the day. But yeah, definitely keep an eye out for this card right here, Expurely Noir. It's absolutely nasty, and this deck, again, is probably going to be better in the TCG because we have 3 Zeus, and they can summon like 10 material Zeus in 2 seconds. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is very comparable to Zodiac 2.0. First of all, these monsters are kind of like beast-ish monsters. I mean, they're literally beast, but, you know, Zodiacs are beast warriors. And they summon Xyz monsters, and they have a lot of materials. So that's what you have to remember. Yeah, very nasty deck. It's a deck that can draw a lot of hand traps as well. Again, on, like, their own turn, they have Brow, so they can draw. Or on the opponent's turn, they have, I think it's this card right here, that searches whenever it is, well, underneath a monster on the standby phase. And it's not once per turn, if I recall correctly, so you can keep on drawing cards again and again. So they can literally end, and, you know, you start your turn and they have like 6 cards in hand already. That's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, if they can draw a bunch of hand traps and not draw into Imperm, because Imperm would be unutilizable, that would be pretty nice. And also, DD Crow is... I think it used to be played because people were playing the Lyrilusk monsters in Sailor and Princess Sprite, as you can see here. They also have some rank 2 monsters because of the effects of the quick play spell cards, but they don't really need any level 2 monsters, so that's actually really nice. And again, the Shizu monsters are there because every quick play spell card makes you discard a card, so anything that is good when it gets discarded is always welcome. Again, I personally teched or recommended people to tech in Danger Bigfoot. It's another really nice card when it gets discarded, or Danger Thunderbird, or really anything, honestly. I think there could be a lot of... See, this is the beauty about this deck, because of the fact that you're not really restricted to like only purely effects. You can pretty much play just anything that is good when it gets discarded, and there's always options. But these Shizu monsters are typically what everybody's going for. Well, at least only the shufflers, so Mudora and Keldo. And that's something that, again, like I said, the Labyrinth deck is also doing. That's the reason why it's called, you know, Ishizu Labyrinth. It's not a big Ishizu lineup whatsoever. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts about this format in the comment section below. I'm really hoping that I get back to not being sick again, because I can't wait to make like multiple videos a day, because it's been rough on me lately. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.